without you ain't as beautiful as you. Wanna have time, but I can make time for you. Oh, I used to tell lies, but I would never lie to you. Shopping spree on my dime, looking all kinds of new. So you know what I like.
So first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for supporting the brand. It really meant the world to us. I know, not to sound cliche, a lot of times when you drop a collection, you just don't know whether or not people actually support you. And we really put our heart and souls into the collection. So thank you so much for supporting. And yeah, we look forward to just constantly keep pushing the envelope and just making sure that we put out garments that feel true to us, that reflect our passion and love for what we do. So today we're gonna be talking about upcycling, right? It's one of our key DNA in our development when it comes to our designing process. So some of the pieces that we're gonna be talking about were all just like repurposed pieces that we didn't like at the time, or we had excess material of, and we just wanted to see it in a new light. So sit back, go get something to drink, go make a protein shake. No, I'm fucking around. Yeah, so just sit back, relax, put on some jazzy tunes, and let's get into it. Other times, right, when you're dealing with a factory or a printer, you have to meet certain minimums. So you just can't necessarily print the exact number you want, and you have to therefore account like how many pieces you're gonna sell for the collection. And because you never know what sizes sell better one season. Of course, you base it off of numbers off your previous collection, but you just never know. So a lot of times you're either gonna sell out of everything, or you gotta have these random sizes that's left over. So whenever we have a situation like that, a lot of times we like to challenge ourselves to see what we could do with the excess, whether it may be a t-shirt or 2 sweaters. Can we transform it, and how can we reapply it? So one of our favorite pieces was these basketball shorts, right? So it's right. It was just based off a concept that we had. So we wanted to use these shirts that we had, which was a random size of like larges. Like, could we transform these shirts? Could we transform these shirts into actual shorts? And I'll make sure I attach some images of the collection somewhere over here. But yeah, it was just an idea. We was like, all right, let's challenge ourselves. Let's stand by them. When I say they were a hassle to make, absolutely. But super cool concept. It was just something that felt refreshing when everybody else was making mesh shorts. And this is like no shade, but it was a way for us to necessarily step outside the box and just challenge ourselves as creatives as well too. Here go the other pair of shorts. As you can see, it was just graphics from previous collections that we almost created like a collage. You know, and it just felt like, it felt exhilarating just to do something where it was just a concept, not a concept, but it was just your part of your imagination, just talking about it and just pushing yourself like forward to see like, hey, I think we can make this possible. Previous collection, the Nervous Acid, from the previous collection, Nervous Acid collection, we had a certain minimum, so we were able to print on a cotton canvas that we had just lying around. So we printed on a cotton canvas, looked at the cotton canvas, was like, oh shit, this is really cool. But all right, what are we gonna do with this? So later down the line, me and my partner discussed, we seen it lying around the office, and we were like, yo, wouldn't this be cool if we base this, like, we using these cotton canvas prints and made a pair of pants? And thus behold, we made a pair of pants. So with these pants, we didn't like drop them in the collection, just based on the fact that we had to make a couple alterations and the fitting wasn't right, but aesthetically, beautiful. And yeah, this will be something that we'll definitely revisit later on and seeing how we apply it to future collections. And yeah, super dope. I don't even know what that means, but super dope. Yeah, you can see like the details all throughout. And yeah, so and this was just an idea, just based on the fact of like, you know, as a business owner, you have to fully capitalize opportunities sometimes. And you know, you might have minimums, seems like shit, I gotta meet a certain amount of minimums. I just don't want to print on shirts. How can I challenge myself to think outside the box as well to see what else I could do with this print? So yeah, it's important to not just think in the present, like how can we work with material that a lot of people would disregard? So when we created the jacket, we worked with this super heavy canvas. And the canvas was a bitch to necessarily treat, to just construct the overall piece just based on the size, the weight, and everything. So when we finally created it, it felt like accomplishment. But at the same time, we didn't truly just go head over heels for the piece. And I'll make sure I include some images somewhere over here. But, you know, we shelved it, put it in the sample room, put it in the office, and we were like, hey, we're gonna make sure we revisit this. And 8 months ago, and I said, and me and my partner, we were like, we're gonna work on it. This could be such a cool concept if we could get it down to exactly the way we want it. And lo and behold, it took a lot of work, but we were able to create the piece that we wanted, right? The exact piece that we wanted. And that's so important when it comes to the design process. I think a lot of times, like, we're okay with just creating the piece and not necessarily asking the question, can this piece stand the test of time, right? And if you're in your hearts of hearts, if it can't, like, fuck it. Like, you know, make sure you go back, like, shelf it, then come back and revisit it, because you want to make sure you stand by that piece, like, no matter where you go. And that's so important. So yeah, for us, like, recreating this piece, the whole dye process is crazy. I'll make sure I show it slow, because people will be like, oh, you showing the pieces too fast. But yeah, so we were super happy about this. I felt like put it on. Yeah, yeah, it's a super amazing piece, like, overall. So just the length, the body, the treatment, and yeah, couldn't ask for a better piece, and that's important. So no matter how hard it is to be like, okay, this piece is not gonna be in a collection, just don't give up on it, because it could easily be implemented for future collections. So yeah, about our process when it comes to upcycling and repurposing, just because it's been in our DNA for so long, it's just something like we make sure that we do each and every time. And yeah, just something we love doing. So I think sometimes as a creative, we become not stagnant, or we think about once we create something it's done, but it's very important to necessarily look at the item. And the item may be perfect. I'll be honest, there's a lot of times I created not an item, but a silhouette, and I'm like, oh shit, this is done. But there's also silhouettes where in my head, or I may have like mocked it up, and I'm like, oh, this is fire. And then when I see it in real life, I'm like, it's cool, but I just felt like I could give it more. So take your time. Like, you know, no matter how many times you have to revisit it, it's always time to necessarily present an item to the world in a different light. So to all those creatives, upcycle and repurpose. Challenge yourself to constantly keep looking at things from a fresh perspective. So, and thank you for tuning in. Hope that wasn't too long. Just conversation on this Sunday, listening jazz, and yeah, peace. Alright, so in the city today, just got to run some errands, got to pick up some more material for the new collection, pick up some zippers, just a whole bunch of, yeah, just prepping a new collection. So I'm going to take y'all on a journey. Not going to show you my Connect, chill, but we're going to go through it. Vlogging in New York City is hectic. So, as you can see, a wide variety of zippers. I'm whispering because that's the mood of the store, but yeah, this is usually where I get my zippers from. Fun fact, I don't use YKK zippers. It's overpriced. They're great zippers, but they're greatly overpriced. Sourcing fabric, you have to really have an idea of how you're going into it, so it's best not to go in blind. I knew we wanted to use some form of a heavier cotton canvas, but not too heavy for the springtime. The color we wasn't too sure, but we had an idea about the weight, so sometimes it could be overwhelming, especially when you go in a fabric store, you don't have a clear idea, but yeah, that's part of the process.
I don't want you waiting too long.